Terry Hoogtens brings out the Volkswagen to race Andrew Wiebe in the Austin. One of the few classes in which all 4 appendages must be used. 1 foot on the throttle, 1 foot on the clutch, 1 hand on the wheel, 1 on the shifter. Ooh, things not sounding terribly healthy for the Austin down the racetrack. Hoogtens puts down a 12.896, but is off the throttle at the top end. It is the same story for Andrew Wiebe on both cars, not having the most ideal of runs down the racetrack. Will Zork will bring up his machine to race Alf Wiebe in the Buick. Pair of red bulbs, doesn't matter in qualifying though, 008 to a 007. Wiebe gets through a 10.38 with the 3, 128 miles an hour. Will Zork goes 11.278 at 120. Brings up Rich Graves in the 1967 El Camino out of Puyallup, Washington, to race Jamie Roth in the Comet. .049 for Jamie Roth. Rich Graves goes 11.65 at 117. Brings up John DePork in his Camaro to race Scott Winterbottom in the Rags to Riches Top Shop. In the Nova. As always, Winterbottom pulls to the right, wrestles it back into the groove with 001 red on the tree, follows that up with a 9.38 with a 2 at 141. John DePork goes 10.313 with a 9 at 129 miles an hour. Believe that to bring up one of the last of the Super Shifter cars, Dan Gray in the 1983 Ford pickup. So Gray logs a 12.12 out of 4 with 110 miles an hour on the boards, and that brings up a licensing pass. Al Lohi takes the Ford Falcon down the racetrack. Still got a few more, at least one more Super Shifter car running up to the racetrack. This one being one of ye old Mustangs. Carrying the front wheels, sets back down on terra firma and fires to the top end like a bullet. Runs an 8.20 with an 8 at 163 miles an hour and pulls the laundry just past the quarter mile. wrap up the first round of BC McLeod Super Shifters qualifying.
up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Combo, we got the BC Super Shifters presented by McLeod Clutches coming up next, rolling underneath the Lord Coado Parts Bridge. And of course, these are all clutch cars. They got the third pedal in these things. They'll be jamming through the gears as the first car rolling into the water box over in the Lord Coado Parts lane. So it'll be Scott Winterbottom. That's 62 Nova over in the Lord Coado Parts lane, the Rags to Riches Top Shop sponsored machine. He's going to have a buy run by the way of how things worked out. 9:37 the dial-in, so we'll see how close Scott can get. Wheels up launch as he'll jam through the gears down track. Winterbottom, 942 in the 937 dial in, 942 with the 640 miles an hour. As your next pair, this is going to be a little bit of an oddball pairing. Andrew Weeb, that 1947 Austin, dialed in at 1130. And Keith Winterbottom on the far side of the racetrack, dialed in with a 970 in the Lord Coado Parts side of the racetrack. Keith from Maple Ridge. Andrew, his dad Alf, is also in Super Shifter competition in his Buick Grand Sport. Huge wheel stand, and that is not good in the front end department for the Anglia. Keep it off the fence, Andrew. Yes, he is going to, but unfortunately looks like the front axle is KO'd on that thing as it went to the moon and back before coming down hard on the ground. 983 with a 3 on the 970 dial, and you can see up on the big screen that that thing has some serious damage in the front end department as that high winding Anglia unfortunately getting some serious hang time. And Andrew Weeb, even with the limited steering, doing a good job to get that car out of the groove to help aid in the cleanup. And Andrew's going to fortunately open up the driver's side door and he's going to survey the damage here in a second. Give Andrew a round of applause. Tough break and a tough way for him to end his Smoke, Fire, and Thunder weekend. Terry Hoogstens in the Carmen Gia in the TCS side of the racetrack. He's dialed in at an 1197. And John DeVork from Langley, that 77 Camaro, he's going to be doing the chasing with a 1035 dial-in. So again, if you're new to bracket racing, just like we had with the Index class and categories in Super Combo, you're trying to run as quick to what you estimate your lapse time to be without going quicker than your dial-in. The idea is that both cars are going to get to the stripe at pretty much exactly the same time. As John DePort, already pre-staged, waiting on Hoogstens to bump in the Volkswagen. So Hoogstens leaves, and John DePort in the Camaro goes red. So it'll be Hoogstens getting the win, and a 12 at 29 with a 510 miles an hour. Had some problems getting off the start line, so that was a lucky break for Hoogstens to get into the next round. 10:45 with a 5 on the 10:35 dial-in for John DePort, but that was all for naught as he goes red. 0-10 red on the tree. So it'll be Alf Weeb over there on the far side of the racetrack. Looks like a competition single for Alf out of Chilliwack, that 1970 Buick that usually sees some action in Stock Eliminator with the NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series. Need to shave a little bit off in the reaction time department. 156 light. Fortunately, getting that single into the next round. And at the top end, 1050 with a 9 on the 1049 dial. Not too shabby for Alf Weebs. He'll get to move on in round number 2 competition. And up next will be Rich Graves out of Puyallup. His 1967 El Camino. Another competition single into round number 2 of competition. You'd hear that thing kind of chirp the tires off the line for Rich as he's going to drive it on out, see how close he can get to the 1169 dial-in. And at the top end, how about an 1170 with a 6 in the 1169 dial for Rich Graves. So again, getting that single into the next round of competition and then running pretty darn close to the dial-in as we'll get ready for Will Zorick out of Langley, his 62 Bel Air with an 1130 dial-in. Up against Jamie Roth out of Langley, that 1964 Comet. Far side of the racetrack, a 1003 dial-in in the Lorico Auto Parts lane, so it'll be Jamie doing the chasing. This looks to do it for round number 1 of eliminations for the BC Super Shifters. 2 green lights, so it's going to come down to the finish line as Jamie Roth trying to reel in Will Zorick. Battle the 60s iron, and it is going to be Jamie Roth at the stripe. 10:09 with a 1 on the 10:03 dial-in, and 11:36 with the 0 on the 11:30 dial-in for Will Zorick, an 066 light for Roth, and a 102 light. So Roth with the advantage off of the starting line and also running closer to the dial at the top end, and he is going to move on into round number 2, and we're going to get
Here is Jamie Roth in that 64 Comet. He's from Langley in the Tower Lane. Moving into Super Shifter now, you guys. Alf Weeb in the 70 Buick from Chilliwack. Super Shifters here. Smoke, Fire, and Thunder. The Titanium Strip at Mission Raceway. Round 2 for Super Shifters, and Alf breaking out. That's Jamie Roth moving into the next round at 10:08 at 1:33. It's Terry Hoogstens in the TCS lane, a 1971 VW. Carmen Gia, he's from Maple Ridge, going against Scott Winterbottom. He's in the Nova, sponsored by Rags to Riches Top Shop. It's coming after Terry. Can he get around him? No. Terry breaking out. Scott Winterbottom moving on into the next round, a 9.50 at 1:30. Rich Graves from Puyallup, Washington, pulling up with that 67 El Camino, going against Keith Winterbottom. So family racing action here in that Camaro. Jumped up and was spinning that tire in that El Camino. I'm not sure if that's going to hurt him. Let's find out. No, because Keith Winterbottom breaking out at 9 thousandths. Wow, that was a close one. 11.78 at 109 with the 3. Rich Graves moving on into the next round of Super Shifter. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Outlaw 275, you are on standby. Outlaw 275, you're on standby. Super Shifters, it's Rich Graves from Puyallup, Washington. The 1967 El Camino dialed in at 11.67. There he goes, going against Scott Winterbottom. Now, unfortunately, Rich Graves going red. Semi-final here in Super Shifter. Scott Winterbottom broke out, but it was okay. Rich went red. He goes into the next round. This is the semi-finals of the Super Shifters. A bye run here for Jamie Roth in the 64 Comet, getting his free ride into the So it'll be Scott Winterbottom and Jamie Roth here. .10.02, 134 with a 4 and 007 off his dial, but he had a free ride into the finals. Super Shifter finals. Should be interesting. Pro Mod and Top Fuel Harleys, you are on standby. Pro Mod and Top Fuel Harleys, you are on standby, please. Yeah. Super Shifter finals here at Smoke, Fire, and Thunder. We have Jamie Roth in the Tower Lane. The 1964 Comet, he's from Langley, dialed in at a 999, and it's Scott Winterbottom in the Lordco Lane. Who will be the winner here? And it's Jamie Roth. A 006 reaction times. Congratulations. Let's see it in the replay, the Valley Tech replay. Wow. Look like Scott having a little bit of a wild ride there in the Lordco Lane, but congratulations. The winner of Super Shifter is Jamie Roth.